Hello there, Charizard for the win here. I'm in the sewers, as you can see, because I want to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I wanted to review the first season of this show. Now the problem with that is there's actually 3 shows, so I don't think it's fair just to review one. So I'm going to review the first season of each of the 3 animated Ninja Turtles shows, starting with the original, the 1987 version. So yeah, let's get into it. I was never really a fan of this series before I decided to review them, so this is basically new to me. If you were a fan of the series, I'm probably going to have a different feel for it, because I'm not nostalgic towards it. I've never liked it before. I've seen before, so this is the first time. It's a different look for me, at least the first. Okay, so the original 80s show, it's based on the comic, obviously, and they did, I haven't read the comics, but I do know that they did change around the tone and things like that. For example, the Turtles all have now colored headbands to distinguish them, and basically they made it a lighter tone because they wanted it to appeal to kids. The comics they took it a more darker tone. So, basically, it's from the 80s, so it's generally pretty cheesy and kind of corny. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's done well, and most of it is done really well. It's more to be fun. It's not meant to be taken seriously or anything like that. And for the most part, it's a lot of fun, and there's good action, there's good animation, and so overall it is good. So I'll get into talk about the different parts of it. So let's talk about the theme song, because I like. Now the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song is pretty classic. This version, at least, everyone's heard it at least once, I'm sure, and it's a lot of fun. It's not really. It does a good job of introducing the tone of the show, which is basically what a theme song should be doing. It also tells you a little bit about the characters, and it's like it explains the different turtles. For example, it says Leonardo, he's the leader. Michelangelo does machine stuff. Raphael's cool but groovy. Apparently, being cool makes it more difficult to become groovy, or something like that. I'm not sure how that works. In any case, then Michelangelo is the party dude. So, yeah, alright, they all seem to be pretty distinct, but that's basically the full development of their characters is in the theme song. Mostly they just eat pizza and do ninja stuff. They fight bad guys, and that's about it. That's their whole characters. Donatello does do machines. He does build things. But that's not really a personality. That's just kind of a hobby that he has. So, yeah, Leonardo does more or less lead them. Raphael is pretty bland. He doesn't have much personality whatsoever. I guess he's cool and groovy, but yeah, that's about it. And Michelangelo is more or less the funny one, but they're all pretty much the funny one in this one. They're all kind of the same, almost. So yeah, let's talk about some of the other characters. Splinter is obviously their teacher, the rat. He was, in this version, he was originally a human who got mutated into a rat. And part of this season is they're trying to see if they can make him human again. The Turtles, what's interesting about this is the Turtles are like, yeah, we gotta make Splinter a human again, and Splinter's just like, sure, yeah, okay. He's not against that idea at all, but he seems pretty content with being a rat. And now April O'Neil, the other main character, is done very well in this series. So I'll talk a little bit about the plot, because it makes more sense. So the first episode starts, and April is reporting on the increasing crime in New York City. She ends up in the sewers being chased by some thugs, and then she meets up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I really like this portion because they don't show the Ninja Turtles right away. They're in the shadows. You just see like a bow staff or like a sai and stuff, and then it shows, and then you get to see them after. And April's like, "Oh, whoa, you guys are turtle people? Okay." So yeah, they meet up with April. They take her back to their lair. They explain their origin, which is they got mutated by the mutagen. They used to be turtles, but now they're more like people. And then Splinter was from Japan. He moved to New York, ended up in the sewers, and got mutated into a rat. So one thing I really like about April is she's a very relatable character. She's supposed to be, she's the one human of the mix. But they do a really good job with her. And from what I had known of the show before, I thought she was just going to get kidnapped basically all the time. She does get kidnapped once or twice or something, but for the most part, she's actually a really strong character. She actually did help out the turtles. She was one of the only people who wasn't actually afraid of the criminals in the city. She could actually stand up to them, and she actually does help out the turtles when they're fighting the Foot Clan or the other threats that they come across. And she's a really great character. She's probably the best one. And like, obviously she complains a bit too, because she now has to live with these turtles, and she does kind of just want to go back to her normal life. But then, now that she's involved with them, she helps them out. And it's really great to see, and they do a really good job with her. So that actually surprised me, but yeah, good job with April O'Neil. Continuing now, I'll talk about the villains a little bit. Obviously, we have the Shredder, who's the main villain. Everyone knows this guy. Okay, so his origin, sort of origin, he was with Hamato Yoshi, the Shredder, aka, I know this. Okay, I forgot his Japanese name. But the Shredder was with Hamato Yoshi in Japan. They were both members of the Foot Clan. Then the Shredder betrayed Hamato Yoshi. Hamato Yoshi got kicked out and moved to New York, and then became Splinter. So the Shredder comes across this creature called Krang, who's this brain guy who was from this other dimension called Dimension X. They work together to try to take over the world. That's basically the plot with the Shredder. The Shredder does have a cool presence to him. He's not really that strong of a villain. Like, he's more just, we have to defeat the turtles, and that's about all he does. And that's fine. It's a kid's show. It doesn't need to have a whole lot of depth, but yeah, he's fun. He's mortal enemies with Splinter or Hamato Yoshi, and it's cool to see them fight near the end. But yeah, most of the time he's like, we have to defeat the turtles. Damn those turtles. I guess he doesn't swear, but yeah, that's about him. That's about it. Then we have Krang, who works with the Shredder, is from Dimension X, was banished, I think. And now he's trying to open a portal to Dimension X to bring his army to take over the world. So that's fine. That's an easy enough plot to follow. It's actually it gets really strange really fast, because but you do have people being like, whoa, this is weird, why are there aliens and ninjas and stuff? So it's fine. So then Krang, he's okay, mostly just complains that he doesn't have a body, which is because he's like a brain. I believe this is a new character, not from the comics. From what I know, there's aliens called the Ooptrons. I believe those are in the comics. I know they're in the later series, which I'll talk about more later. So he does resemble them a little bit. He and uses a robotic body eventually with it sits in the stomach of that. So that's, I'm pretty sure, based on the Ooptrons from the comics. But he's basically a new character. He's fine, I guess. He's kind of annoying. He looks cool. I like the design. But yeah, he's pretty straightforward. Then a little bit later on, Shredder decides to use the mutagen on some other guys to create mutants to fight against the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which makes sense. So he gets one guy to mutate with a rhino, and one guy to mutate with like a warthog, I believe, and that's Bebop and Rocksteady. I really don't know which one is which. They're pretty generic characters. They're just kind of evil henchmen. I guess they look pretty cool. I like the design of them and stuff, but the actual personalities, I can't tell them apart. I'm sorry. If you're a fan of that, they're okay. They just don't really have a lot to them. And yeah, a lot of the time the villains are more comic relief, which is strange. You'd think the heroes might be more comic relief, but I guess the whole show is kind of comic relief. So that's kind of how that works. But yeah, the villains are fine. They're not exceptional or anything, but they do their job, which is to be threats to the heroes, and that's about it. Yeah, the main plot, basically, the Ninja Turtles have to defeat the Shredder, who tries to take over the world. That's basically the whole plot. Yeah, so some themes in the show are really, they take it way more light than maybe expected, or maybe just, I don't know. So with I started having trouble explaining this. So with the Foot Clan, they make them all robots. I believe there are humans in the comics, and the reason they make them robots is so that you can kill them on TV without anyone getting upset, because they're just robots. So who cares? They can build another one, not actual people. So yeah, that's why that is. And there's other things too, like it's just generally a really lighthearted show, so nothing ever seems that real. Everything's really brightly colored and things like that. I think that's just the best way to put it. And yeah, that's fine. It's fine for itself. It's still fun. It's only the entire season's only 5 episodes long. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but so if you haven't seen the show, I definitely recommend checking out this first season, because it's only 5 episodes, so you might as well give it a shot. If you like it, then you can keep watching, or if you don't, then whatever. I might see more of this show, I'm not sure. We'll see how this goes. But first season introduces the Turtles. They're all fine. Most of the characters are pretty bland, but the stories are fun, and it's definitely enjoyable. So I'm gonna say check it out if you haven't already. And it definitely introduced a lot of the ideas that the later Turtle shows and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in general copied, like the different headbands, the different a little bit of a more distinguishability between them, as well as that they like to eat pizza, and party and things like that. And those ideas show up a lot in later versions of the characters. So yeah, April I think is the best character of them all, strangely. I thought she was going to be one of the worst, but yeah, she is actually the best. Everyone else is alright, nothing really bad. I think Splinter's maybe the next best character, because he seems to have more depth to him. We don't see a whole lot of what he's like thinking and stuff. You just kind of have to guess, I suppose. But he's the trainer of the Ninja Turtles and stuff, and that's always cool to have that older, wise character who actually knows what they're talking about. And yeah, that's about it. Stay tuned for next time, where I review the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. Thank you for watching, and subscribe. Bye. Oh, I have to actually press the button.